What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Batman Detective Comics number 1030. I can't even speak right now. Batman Detective Comics number 1031. There we go. I said it right that time. But Batman and Robin, no more. This cover is kind of misleading because Batman and Robin don't really interact at all. In fact, Damian seems to be doing kind of well for the time being. Like, he's solving cases, he's saving animals, while his dad's kind of somewhat trying to go out looking for him, but is easily distracted and focusing on other things and stuff like that. So, I quite like this issue. I thought the art was good. I thought the writing and the story is actually starting to pick up some pace, and it's starting to get quite interesting with the different characters and like their dilemmas and dynamics. It's actually picking up quite well, and I think in terms of this arc, since Nakano came on board, I think it's gotten a lot better. But we're still going to keep going. So as the issue begins, we see Nakano. He is basically there just trying to he's still on his anti-mask tirade, and the Mirror shows up, and the Mirror is trying to be like, hey, I got all this stuff right here, all this information, and masks and things to kind of put them down, things that'll be to your advantage, and so on and so forth. But Nakano's just like, look, I won't be compromised by this. I'm going to do this my way, or I'm going to fail doing so. I'm going to do this the right way. And I actually kind of respect that. There's some definite integrity with the character. And the Mirror himself, we still don't really know who the Mirror is. It's kind of a big mystery at this point. I'm not sure if it's potentially Hush, or it could be somebody else entirely. But the Mirror is clearly vigilantes at the time being. Also, we see some people. So Gotham itself is kind of 50-50 in a lot of ways. There's those who are pro-vigilante and those that are anti-vigilante. Because there's people that are really fed up with the way masks have been treated. I guess this is going to kind of lead into setting things up for DC Future State. I don't know if this is set in stone or things could potentially change, but that's kind of what it's leading to with the whole entire world going anti-vigilante. And I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go from here. But anyway, so there's anti-vigilantes. Batman comes in, breaks them up. There's some kind of funny panels here, there's somebody's anti-Batman, there's someone's pro-Batman. It's like, oh, right, Batman. So he kind of breaks them up, and he's kind of talking, stay vigilant, and he's going to keep looking for Robin. And if you remember the last issue where Damian was kind of doing his own thing on the sides, we're talking through the Black Casebook. He basically goes in and confronts this lady, and I tell you what, this is my favorite part of this whole issue, is this conversation here. So this lady comes in here and comes to find Damian. Damian is sitting in this chair, mind you, like he's Ernst Stavro Blofeld from James Bond, or Dr. Evil, whichever one you prefer. And he's just sitting there like he's got the showmanship and presentation. He probably was sitting there for quite a long time, and he's just like, oh, don't worry, Miss Cleo is fine with me. As he's stroking this cat, I'm like, oh my god, I can't help but get the image of Dr. Evil comes to mind, and of course James Bond, Blofeld, since I'm a Bond fan too. So those images come to mind, and basically Damian's confronting her about how she was always there and present with the stuff with the Bruce Wayne attempted murders from years ago. So he's just like, oh yeah, Catherine Elliot. So we come to find out that she is the half-sister of Hush, and probably the funniest thing is okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to turn yourself in, and that's going to be that. You're going to walk away. You're going to turn yourself in. And probably the funniest part of this whole panel is right here. So she pulls out a gun on him and is ready to shoot him. She's like, no way in hell I'm turning myself in and destroying all the years I put into this badge, even if I have to. Damian just snags the gun out of her hands. He's just like, I've gone toe-to-toe with my mom, who, by the way, used to lead the League of Assassins. I'm afraid you were a bit of a lightweight. Your fellow cops should be here soon. You got the evidence left behind on the floor, and which I've emailed the media. They're going to eat you alive. Don't worry, I'll find Cleo a good home. So yes, Damian comes there like a fucking savage, completely calm, completely in control, doesn't really hurt anybody. He just puts her to justice. Wow, this is very different, because remember last time in the Teen Titans stuff, he was basically like, we got to inflict fear, we got to do all this stuff. But now he's just like, no, I'm pretty calm, I'm calculated, I'm going to just take him down this way. And he did it justly. He didn't kill anybody, he didn't do any of that stuff. He just sent all the evidence like, all right, I'm throwing your ass in jail. Bye-bye. Fucking badass. Again, this is on point. And one thing I really missed about Damian's writing, especially with Tomasi, is he brings that sass to him. And the sass is something that you kind of were missing in a lot of the comics for the longest time, because Damian has some sass. And again, you get that in Deceased a bit, and you didn't really get it in Teen Titans. You kind of just got really angsty. You lost his personality, and in some ways he was more mature. with how he kind of was around his teammates, but you lost that trademark sass and personality and kind of savage funny moments like this, which I really liked. His presentation, everything was on point here. Again, he's not really doing anything wrong. In fact, he barely laid a finger. He's like, all right, I got your evidence here, all gathered up, everything's all done, taken care of, we're good to go. So again, I really like this part right here. And elsewhere, we have Batman, and he's seeing things where there's some crowds going on, and everyone's kind of watching because like there's about to be like something going on downtown. We have the Mirror, who's kind of leading everybody in for a fight. And we also see Batman say, just received word from the cave computer, possible whereabouts for Damian. If I don't move on, I may not be able to pick his trail up for weeks. So Batgirl and they're just like, all right, you go ahead and find him. We got pretty much everyone else here except for Tim and Stephanie, who are wherever at this point. Like, leave the flash mob to us. And Bruce, of course, he's like, no, this has gotten too big. We need to get in there and help keep this peaceful. Finding Damian is going to have to wait. I'm seeing another mass of people coming in the opposite direction. Now, there's your problem right there, Bruce. Like, again, I get he wants to help people, but your son should kind of be your top priority as a parent. It's like, okay, I got like this thing. I might not be able to find him for weeks. I finally got a lead on my son, which should be a top priority for him. You got the whole Bat family here, Bruce, to like keep an eye on things. You got a lot of them. They're pretty reliable people. But nah, you're just going to kind of skip looking for your son. Again, like that kind of shows some of my issues with the way Bruce has been. I'm not a parent. I have nieces and nephews, but if I were a parent, my top priority would be finding my kid. And Bruce Wayne, he's like, yeah, I'm still looking, but I'm going to kind of push this to the side for other things. I'm like, you're a parent. Go look for your kid. You got these people. They're covering this thing. But I guess it's a good thing that he stayed, because as the Mirror was going on, their whole tirade, there was the anti-vigilantes and the pro-vigilantes in the city. Then they start to kind of get into a bit of a scuffle, at which point somebody in a Batman mask starts shooting them all with tranquilizers as Batman just faces off against the Mirror, who basically kind of makes himself look to be a martyr. They jump off a bridge, they explode, and they apparently are killed. Doubtful, because what was the point of setting off if you're not going to reveal the mystery per se? So anyways, Batman does this thing. He gives a speech talking about how the vigilantes are here for good. They want to help people, and yeah, the system kind of failed at times, so I'm going to do things right. And then anyways, he gets on the comms with the rest of the Bat family, and he's just like, everything's good. He's like, yeah, Nightwing's kind of all tied up. As you can see, there's Hush there. And again, I love this moment with Hush here. So he's got the gun right to Barbara's head, and he's just like, yeah, you go ahead and find Robin. We'll go look after this thing and report later. Just like, all right, I'll update you on my search later on. Wonderfully motivated performance. You're no longer needed the comlink. Consider yourself disconnected. You son of a... And lucky enough to see another day. Now sleep, little Nightwing. And then, bam, that's how the issue ends. Again, I meant to go to spoilers. So, but yes, so everyone else has been apprehended. Tim and Stephanie are nowhere to be found, mind you. I don't know where they're at, but again, we're going to set up Hush versus the Bat family. Bruce is finally going to confront Damian after their last confrontation, which was months ago. So in the Teen Titans Annual #2. And also, by the way, Batman Black and White, I see Damian there. I see a bunch of other cool things. I'm looking forward to Black and White. Maps Mizuguchi, Maps is going to be Robin, one of those one-shots. So that's pretty cool. But overall consensus, I quite like Detective Comics 1031. I still kind of have issues with the lack of urgency from Bruce to kind of look for Damian. I mean, he's looking for him now, which is a good thing. But even kind of like a moment ago where he's like, okay, I finally got to leave. I got to go, jump in on this thing. He's still kind of a little bit apprehensive about the whole thing at times. And that's kind of frustrating as a fan. I'm kind of like, come on, man, that's still your kid. But at least he's looking now. And I like the way Damian was written. It tells you like how good Tomasi is at writing this character. Again, completely in control, right amount of sass. So he has kind of evolved. He's definitely, he still has his sass there. He's definitely more in control of things and kind of that little mischievous thing. But like, and his showmanship is on point. Like, you got to have showmanship. And again, I think it's pretty well written. We're going to wait and see what his confrontation is going to be like when he meets his dad. But again, he hasn't really done anything wrong in this arc. In fact, he's like, okay, I'm going around, I'm solving these cases. And yeah, and I don't know what his end goal is. Maybe to prove a point, maybe to take down all these criminals and prove that he's better than his dad, to get his dad's attention. I don't know what his end goal is, but he did bring to justice one of the people who was, doing things like when Bruce was younger, like covering up for Hush and all that. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about this one. I quite enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to the next one. I think so far in this arc, this is the strongest issue. The art's quite good. I like this cover here. I thought Tomasi wrote Damian pretty well, which is refreshing because he's also going to be doing the new Super Sons book that's coming out. We also have Deceased. So things are looking up a bit. Finally, like the light at the end of the tunnel is coming around. So hopefully things turn around. We get a really good emotional confrontation between father and son where they can kind of learn from each other, learn from their mistakes, and reconcile and actually grow as characters. And Bruce acknowledges his faults as a parent. So yeah, again, I've quite enjoyed this one, and I'm looking forward to the next one. But anyways, what are your thoughts on Detective Comics 1031? Let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications, like this video, share it with your friends, and as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.